This is a highly specific topic that we have focused upon African Americans, home ownership, and the most recent recession and the impact that had on the folks that are there. And oftentimes we hear about recovery and we hear about things that are positive and moving forward, but we know those who are the most vulnerable in society are often those who lack the resources, who also lack the opportunity to rebound from the kinds of issues that are there, and they generally suffer more than some of the others. And so this has been brought to our attention that that one of the most significant things in African American life is their basically home ownership. Ownership of a home or land or whatever, that has always been an extremely important element in the development of black families, not only in California but throughout the nation. And so it becomes important as we look at the decline in home ownership. We're talking about the wealth that families pass on to themselves, and we know that the wealth index for African Americans is much lower than others in terms of what you have to transfer to your children, those kinds of things, and the stability of those homes and communities.
Maybe one of the bigger and more influential barriers to entry to home ownership is the limitation or the restriction of available inventory. And what I mean by that is homeowners who have been prepped, are credit worthy, have a down payment or have down payment assistance, going out, ready to go, excited, but continually getting beaten out by cash investors, making 30 and 40 offers, only to be discouraged and turned away. And so we've seen this, especially in the last downturn, where we had this glut of properties. Yet, many of these properties were not made available to the communities of the owners in those areas. And so this is a problem. This is an issue.
Although we can say, well, the foreclosure crisis is over, but it's never really over for our community that continues to be underemployed or unemployed at any time. The last to be hired, the first to be fired. And in those cases, we do suffer from a greater percentage of foreclosures consistently, even though it might not be deemed in the media as a crisis amongst all communities.
I understand fair housing. I understand fair lending. But is it really fair? Is it really fair when you look at what does it do? What happens when you have a young man who's went to school, got his degree, he has a family, he has his money, he has everything set aside the way it should be. He's done all the right things, and he cannot afford to get a home, either because it's unaffordable, or the investors are getting it first, or some other reason. We want to make sure that fair housing stays fair housing. We want to make sure that numbers for the state of California are known so that we can go forward. Because if we know where we are and know where we've been, we'll know where we're going. Without that, we have no sense of direction.
The California Association of Real Estate Brokers came to me last year and said, this is an issue. We think we have some things we want to discuss. We think we have some solutions to the problem. And as a result, asked us to consider a number of options. Central to that, I said there should be at least a hearing about it here at the Capitol with regards to what this important issue is, not only nationwide, but more importantly, in terms of California and how we fit into that.